Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. It's the end of February, so time to show you and talk to you a little bit about my favourites for the last month of February, at least the items that I've been using a lot. If you follow me on Instagram, you may remember that about a month ago I mentioned I'd invested in a whole new skincare range, or rather three products from the very pricey Sunday Riley range. I got Good Genes, which I have used before and is the kind of liquid serum AHA exfoliating serum, which I do like. As I say, I have used generous samples before. I also bought the Lunar Night Oil. That's the kind of blue one, which has had a lot of rave reviews by the in the blogosphere. I have to say I'm not that keen on it so far, but it is early days. And to be fair, I do tend to have issues with oils. I prefer creams generally as treatments. But I have been enjoying a great deal the Bionic Anti-Aging Cream. It's a pricey treatment cream, but it's a beautiful consistency, really, really comforting, deeply moisturizing. You can not only feel it sinking in, but definitely seeing it's leaving a layer. That sounds revolting, but actually I think is a good thing, giving a very obvious protective barrier to the skin, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm using it night and morning, and you can see I'm getting through it fairly quickly, which isn't that great news given the price. Interestingly, Bionic is one of, I think, only two out of the quite large Sunday Riley range. Certainly in the States, we don't get all of the products over here in the UK. Only two of them have reasonably good write-ups on Paula's Choice, the Beautypedia site. Now, I do have some misgivings about Paula's Choice as a resource for recommendations. She is excellent, or rather her team are excellent in identifying ingredient lists and making it much easier for you if you're researching a product's ingredients than some of the manufacturers do. But I don't feel as strongly as she does about the use, for example, of fragrance and essential oils. She will tend to disparage a product considerably if there is a use of essential oils, because she says they're irritants, and I haven't found that personally to be so, and I do think it throws off whack her grading system a bit. The other point I would make about the scheme is that when you're in the business of selling your own products, does that really affect your impartiality in reviewing competing manufacturers' products? I don't know, but it is a useful website. And interestingly, Bionic, although she criticises it as being overpriced for what it contains, does otherwise get a very good write-up, and I would agree on that score. Apart from skincare, the only really kind of new products I have to show you, and they're not new in the sense of newly released, are a couple of perfumes. Again, I showed this on Instagram. This is Une Fleur de Chanel Eau de Toilette, and it's not something you can buy from a Chanel boutique, to my knowledge, at the moment. It was a limited edition fragrance, I think first released in about 2001, having done my research, as some kind of link in with the Chelsea Garden Show. And then it was re-released a couple of years later, but literally just for those two seasons. And I'm really surprised, because I read about this, managed to pick up this bottle very easily, brand new bottle, in its original packaging on eBay, fairly reasonably. And I absolutely love it. It's, I would say, a classic green floral, quite jasmine heavy, meant to make you think of the camellias, but of course camellias don't have a fragrance. But I guess this is how we think they would smell if they smelled. And it's just a really beautiful, light, kind of air of floral fragrance. Definitely white flower, definitely jasmine, but a little kind of acidic greenness in there, which makes it more delectable to me because I don't like anything too straight florally. Having said that, it's not a complex fragrance at all. It doesn't have a huge last, but it's really, really pretty and I'm enjoying it in spring. The kind of opposite end of the spectrum fragrance-wise is this Serge Lutens Shagui, which I brought out from the storage cupboard. I'd forgotten I'd had, and it's lasted very well. This is a really kind of what can I say? Spicy gourmand. Definitely quite a bit of amber in there. Quite sweet. I kind of get a kind of honey, but not sickly sugar. As it dries down on me, it actually reminds me a little bit of Worth's Je Reviens, which I can remember from my childhood. It's much, much less pungent, much, much less heady, but definitely has those kind of overtones. I could see that some people might find it a little bit sickly, but as a warming fragrance, I guess more in winter than this time of year, I'm really enjoying it. And we've had some cold weather, so I've liked that. Had some compliments for it as well. What else? I think I've shown you before the Spring Range Deal Show Colour and Contour. I've been using these quite a lot. Some people found they irritated the eyes. That hasn't been the case for me, and I've really enjoyed using them as a base for powder shadows. This nice light pink one I've been using as a base for my Tom Ford Lilac Dream. The palette, as I mentioned in my other video, hasn't been an unqualified success, but two of the colours in it, the lavender and the taupe, I really, really love, and I love them with this, making a really, really beautiful spring eye, and I've been doing that a lot. And then the more conservative, typical for me, coppery taupe of this one, I've been using this a lot as well, sometimes with the other Tom Ford palette that I bought recently, Last Dance, and other browns and taupes. Just a very easy makeup in the morning, and of course they've got the liner on the opposite end, which is jolly convenient. So I have been using those a lot. I've also turned back to one of my Hourglass ambient lighting blushes, Mood Exposure, actually the only one I've got of these. I was very disappointed with the blushes. I'm a great fan of the powders when they first came out. I think I bought about 3 and I didn't find they lasted very well on me. I got rid of 2 of them. I kept this one, which was quite a flattering shade for me. Comes up much more pigmented on the cheeks than it looks on the finger. And I do find this one lasts reasonably. So again, it's one of those products I've kind of reassessed over time. And it's just the kind of right medium toned blush at the moment to go with the eye looks I've been doing. So I have been using that quite a lot. Because of the old spotty, I've been getting out the slightly heavier duty concealer, heavier duty than I normally use. Enjoying this Bobbi Brown. It's quite convenient to have quite a sticky, heavy-duty concealer that's creamy. So with a brush, it's great for covering around the red of a pimple. And then it's got a nice setting powder conveniently, just to set that separately. And so great kind of blemish concealer. That's Warm Ivory. I think they've changed the packaging on these. I've had this for quite a long time. What else? Oh, I did want to mention the sample that I got of brow powder from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I got a really dark sample, ebony. You can see there. I'm a blonde. My brows are quite dark. Definitely this colour. And so, yeah, I mean, this is quite far along their scale of powders. I don't think I would have picked this one out if I'd been kind of picking from a catalogue. I'd probably have gone for soft brown or medium brown, something like that. But it actually works really, really well on my brows. I don't. It's difficult to tell because it's a sample. Although I've used it a lot, there's a lot of, and there's still some left on the card. It seems to be a very fine powder. I mean, I usually use as a powder this duo from MAC, Mr. Magpie, or Omega, the Shadow, and they work pretty well with an angled brush. But there's something about this powder, I suspect it's just that bit finer, that is much less traceful, is more traceless, sorry, less traceful, more traceless on the eyebrows, and gives a really seamless look and seems to last as well. So I've been really impressed by this sample, and I probably will order, and in the same colour, surprisingly enough. So those were my kind of favourites for the last month, a short month. We're nearly in spring, can't wait. Looking forward to busting out a few of the brighter colours. Until then, see you soon. Bye for now.